We've got some
Hey,
fresh new
I'm
young
Luis.
talent
And
doing some
I'm
things that I
Luis.
know you haven't
And you're
heard
listening to the
before.
Content is Profit podcast. Welcome back to the pod, FONZI. We are
That was
here.
intense.
That was intense. Yes. We're rocking today is Wednesday, hump day, and it's a very special day today. What's happening today?
Today we're recording another podcast. It's one at a time. It
one
just
at a
matters
time.
to be that today's a 400 episode.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Happy 400th episode, FONZI.
Happy 400.
Well, actually, 400 legal.
Dude.
I think we're way more than 400 in
Crazy.
real life, but it's crazy. Congrats.
Today's the April 5th. Imagine it would be April 4th. 4-4-400.
4-5-400 or 5-4-400, depending on what part of the world you're in. But anyways, happy 400th episode. We have something short and sweet prepared today. And do you ever think that we will get to this point, 400 episode?
Yes. Always.
Don't lie. I didn't.
I never thought about it. If I'm being honest, I didn't even think about I wonder how far we're gonna make it with the podcast. I was just like, we're gonna do a podcast. All right, let's do it. You know,
How many?
that's pretty much it.
Keep talking.
What are you searching for?
How many podcasts have more than 400 episodes? Let's see if Google.
I doubt they have a specific, but it's probably part of the top 1% or less.
Yeah. I mean, the stat is 9 episodes, right? 95% of podcasts fail after 9 episodes. And, that in part is because people try to put them into, weekly, and that's a little bit over 2 months. And then 2 months might be too short of a time to see results with just 9 episodes, right? We talked about frequency. But anyways, yes, I remember the day we started the podcast. It was we're going to do this because we have mentors that do it. We've seen people that are very successfully. That was our only format that we found at the time that worked for us on how we wanted to create things. And we talked about this in other episodes, but I never really thought that we were going to get to 400 episodes, dude. 400 plus hours of you and me talking in these mics.
Yeah, I didn't.
The
think
same
so.
equipment hasn't changed. Amazing.
I have a question. I forgot to ask before we started the episode.
Okay.
And you guys can see it's still raw and real.
Raw and real, baby. Let's go.
Are we doing the intro or we're not doing the intro? Because I'm okay with not doing the intro because, we did a podcast intro episode. I was like, not every episode needs the intro.
That's fine.
But I'm curious because you usually like the intro.
I do like the intro, but anyways, if you are enjoying these episodes, go ahead. Don't forget to follow the pod in your favorite podcasting platform and on social media at BIZBROS. That's all I'm going to say.
That's right. I like
I'm
it.
gonna say that.
This episode is for the real ones.
Yeah, by the way,
The ones that have, endured the test of time of content is profit. They've
Yeah.
been here from the beginning.
okay, so we're not here to just rejoice on the 400th episode, right? There's something of value here that's coming. So why don't you tell me what you have prepared for this? Because
Yeah,
you were
so 400 episode, and for you, we want to share what is the top takeaway individually that we've had overall in these 400 episodes.
so cue nostalgic video. No, I'm kidding.
So it's not like what is the best thing you've learned from all the guests that we've had, but what is the underlying lesson in the 400 episodes overall in the experience of putting a podcast together, right? That we can relate to you, that is going to help you be consistent and hopefully sometime in the future reach to your 400 episode of whatever it is that you're doing, or 400 video, whether that is, YouTube, Facebook, etc. So you decide where you want to publish.
I remember one of the entrepreneurs that we follow saying, publish for a full year consistently, and your life will look very different to what it looks like today. Meaning, on the positive side, on the business side.
Does it look different?
It looks very different. I mean, yes, I'm fatter.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's true, but
But you're getting back in shape in there. I see you rocking the
Yes.
treadmill.
I mean, but I remember a year at that point when I heard that advice, it seemed like way too long. And right now we just celebrated the 3rd year of the podcast, right? And our life has truly drastically changed in a way.
You
right?
have 2 kids.
I do have 2 kids. I mean, we started the podcast right before Luca was born.
No, right
that's-
when?
No,
After it was-
Luca. Yeah, Luca. No.
It was
yes,
already
that's
like
right.
a year.
Luca was almost a year. That's right. Wow. So yeah, and then so I have a second kid. We moved into a bigger, nicer place. You moved out, which is great.
Into where? I still don't know, but I just moved out.
I know he's homeless now. No, I'm kidding. You know, we've built a team since then, which is awesome. We found our footing in what we want to do. We're enjoying this every single day. We've stayed consistent. We've done multiple events. We've been speaker at events, which that never happened before. Not only online events, but in-person events. Our network has grown at least by 400 amazing entrepreneurs, which is amazing. I mean, it's incredible now that, you know, we have connected with amazing people that just from a phone call, we can get incredible advice, guidance, referrals.
You know what hasn't changed?
Your haircut?
Oh, my haircut. It did change. I had yellow hair at some point. I was going to say your ums and ums.
That's true. It's okay. I'm going to embrace my ums and ums. Hey, and if you've tuned out of the podcast because of that, let me know in social media because I truly don't care.
How are they going to tell you? Because they're not going to be here to tell you.
It's okay. I don't care. Here's why. I think part of what publishing consistently for this period of time with, you know, and yes, there's always leveling up in everything that we do. It can always be better, right? CBB can be better. Is that we have to create based on, at least this is my belief, right? We have to create from a place that we can actually go execute. So to me, I think the results that we're getting and the feedback that we're getting either from the guest, I think if you ask our guest if they've noticed my ums, nobody will probably notice my ums, which is what happened in that college class.
We should send a poll. But I think that's a cool episode for the future. Episode 401. We'll do what's your takes about ums and ums, and then we'll do a debate on that. Because I think we, in a way, think in a similar way, but then after a little bit, I feel like we differ and might have different opinions in there, which would be cool. But you didn't get to share your top lesson. Yeah,
top lesson has been consistency trumps everything. I think, like in a way, we were just in a session and we're talking about this thing. And, you know, when you're in a business or if you're a business owner, there's so many things that you have to be worrying about, right? Payroll, your staff, your meetings, your day-to-day, your thing. And sometimes content comes in the last place. And sometimes people put so much trust in content, right? Not having the proper system on the back end, that's why they get they get a lot of disappointment on the business side, right? So for us, when we tackle the podcast, the main goal was, hey, we're going to produce 3 episodes a week for at least a few months, and then we're going to reassess. And that triggers something pretty interesting, right? Where we made it a very hard commitment to where like 3 times a week. And there's been weeks that, you know, we slacked here and there, but I mean, for the most part, we've stayed very, very consistent. And just by the fact of going out and executing on that consistency, a lot of good things happened, like the ones that we mentioned earlier. So if we don't have just this morning, right? We're backtracking on our episodes and we've been publishing on YouTube, which we didn't in the past. We, you know, streamed live on Facebook and then the audio goes to audio platforms. But now we're starting to build the YouTube side. And we have one of our team members helping us out on the distribution there. And just the fact of putting the video on YouTube has been incredibly positive. We've been, you know, getting incredible feedback, a ton of people discovering the show. And we're like, okay, step 1 is go and publish it.
Yep.
Right? So just by that, you're going to get a ton of traction. And I think the first commitment has to be with consistency. And with that said, it's like, okay, how can then you shape it in a way that you can execute consistently for that commitment, right? Once a week, once a day, 3 times a week, whatever that cadence is for you, commit for at least 6 months because things are going to change.
Good lesson. Consistency. I like it. And I was going to go along the same lines. Honestly, there's a lot of lessons that, you know, has brought us here to the episode 400. Personally, my belief is that, or actually my lessons, is that you need to do something that you enjoy. And sometimes it takes time to figure out that you actually enjoy doing it, right? Personally, when we started the podcast, I was excited. I think it was a lot of fun, but then there was a time where actually my enjoyment for the podcast decreased a little bit. And then again, we discovered, wow, you know what? There are some benefits to this. The way we do it is engaging, you know, being part of a network it has a lot of value, and I kind of like fell in love again with it, and is way more enjoyable than, you know, on those low moments. Now, on the other end too, I think it's very valuable the fact that I have a what are you called? A co-host, you know, you're called a brother.
I'm also a brother, yeah.
But having a co-host has been very helpful. So if you can have a show with a co-host, I personally think that makes it more dynamic, more enjoyable. We have different opinions. We have different jokes. You know, I got the good ones. You got the bad ones, right? We relate differently to some of our guests, which is a lot of fun and sometimes very interesting, even, you know, from my point of view that I'm the co-host. I'm like, wow, I'm learning today from my brother. Who would have thought, right?
That happens every day.
And the most important part, sometimes we just hold each other accountable when one doesn't want to do it. The other person is like, nah, we're going to do it. Or sometimes somebody steps up and say, you know what, you take a break. I'm going to do a solo episode today, which is very important because at the end of the day, consistency, like my brother mentioned, is key. So again, a lot of lessons, but I think one important one is learn to enjoy the process, because sometimes we just give it like 3 tries, and if it's not good enough, if it's not up to our standards, we kind of like quit and move on. But in reality, nobody's good from the very beginning, right? You need a few tackles here and there, fall to the ground, get back up, and then keep trying, and you'll find your flow. Guess what? No show, no podcast is made the exact same way. Hosts are different. The way they communicate is different. The way they run their shows is going to be different. You just need to find your way. And actually, I was in a call not too long ago, a few hours ago, with one of our previous guests. We were talking about maybe working together. And she told me, you know what? After a show, I actually went to my husband and I told him how different your show was, how fun your show was, that I love the energy that you guys have, that is totally different to any other podcast that I've been on. And that is actually one of the most common comments that we get from our guests, is because we realize that for us to have a show that we want to keep doing for 400 episodes, it needs to be a fun show. We need to be enjoying it and having fun as well. And hopefully that fun transmits to that energy of fun transmits to the guest as well. So find your fun as you're doing it so you can start enjoying the process. And a lot of things change throughout the way. I started enjoying a lot of the process of researching. At first, we didn't want to do too much research. Now I like doing research. I really enjoy now the solo episodes. Yeah. Right. So a lot of those things are going to change. You're going to be molding.
I love the fact that he does the research.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do it.
It's going to be evolving. Right. So again, just embrace the process, open-minded, and kind of like steer towards what you're going to be able to do long-term and you're going to enjoy, even though it requires work, because it does.
Can I do a bonus one on the money side?
Sure, bonus.
Okay, so obviously, you know, what we talked about is like, oh, guys, that's amazing. That's great. Congratulations for 400 episodes. But, you know, consistency and these things that you talked about, I don't see the connection with the business, right? And we've gotten this a lot. So obviously for us, we truly believe the second we started the podcast that this was going to work, and the money thing was going to be solved as we execute it, right? So that was like our core belief when we started this, right? And I understand if as a business owner or as a company, you might not have that belief, right? So my next advice after that is obviously the commitment to consistency. But after that is like, how can you start connecting, right, as fast as possible, your creation or your production to revenue? Most people look at the production being distributed, and then from that distribution on whatever, social media, blogs, podcasts, right? The people are going to find you and come here. Usually the organic way like that, it tends to be very slow. So what we did was we flipped the script, and we're like, as soon as we published like 20 episodes, we started bringing guests, which was our way to talk to the decision maker of the company that we thought it was going to be the client, right? Many lessons came from this. Many people were not a fit. Then we understood that maybe the first version of the product was not needed. But I think it was the first client that we ended up communicating with in that flow. I think it was like episode 40 or something like that. It was like earlier. They're still a client 3 years later, right? So you can find your dream people to work with through this process. So for us, the connection to that was a conversation over a collaboration in our podcast. And that's how we were able to talk to decision makers as fast as possible. So again, the back end and the long tail and like the technical side of things with like SEO and the publishing and ads and all that, it will come. But my advice is like, if you are in dying need of revenue, of like you want to connect it right away, is connect on your platform with the person that you want to work with. Whether that's a YouTube collaboration, whether it's an interview for a blog. We just got a request earlier today that they were going to interview us for this blog. And so how can you create, right? So your creation to be consistent, and then how can you bring your dream client into that platform so you can have an amazing conversation and then transition to the money side.
And now that you mentioned that, I actually remember, coincidentally, that we actually have a program that can help you do that, and it's called Pipeline Platforms. So,
by the way, this was not a setup, guys. I promise you that this is legit.
It was not a setup.
This is truly how we believe. But yes, we do have that program.
Yep.
If you're interested, you send us a DM. Website coming soon. By the way, I'm so proud of the website that's about to come out. Oh, so pretty.
Good job. You did a good job. But yeah, if you're interested, let us know. Reach out at BIZBROS Co on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll hit you back with the details, right? We can jump on a call. We can share everything with you. Just, figure it out if it's the right move for you and your business.
That's right. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go.
Happy 400 episode, Fonzie.
Happy 400. I hope you have an amazing, incredible day. And if you're currently publishing, make sure you find your fun and you keep going at it, because I'm sure you're going to crush it.
Yeah, let's go. Hi, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Go ahead and follow your favorite podcasting platform on social media at BIZBROS Co.
That is right. This episode help you move one step closer towards your next episode. Please don't forget to share it and hit the 5-star review, subscribe, do all the things, and hit us up on Instagram and Facebook. Let's go. See ya. Bye.
Bye, guys. It wouldn't be an episode without a mistake in the outro.
Bye. See ya. Bye. Cool.